Tune in, it's time for Kami G. Bringing stars and stories, it's where you wanna be. From celebs to entrepreneurs, she's got the scoop. Community and entertainment, she's in the loop. Every smile a burst of velvet light. Through the screen she shines so bright. With the laughs and tales that weave tonight.
Well, welcome to another episode of SKST Radio, and you tuned into the Kami Grayson Show, and I am Kami Grayson, and over here I have the beautiful Traci Walker.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So Traci is an author, as you can see, her beautiful books here, but we want to get her story. We want to find out who she is and how she got here today. And man, I'm looking at her on social media and all the cool things that she's doing. I mean, she's doing events and all kinds of community things, something positive, that's things that we need. And as you can see the little display here on our graphic behind us, I mean, she got all kinds of cool things going, and I love the name.
Yes.
I love the name. So we're going to talk about all that, but Traci, tell people who you are.
So first of all, I am a mentor. I am a mobilizer. I'm a pastor. I'm a new wife. I'm excited about that. Only 6 months.
All right.
Yes, I'm a daughter of the Most High God, and I'm just a woman who believes in supporting and celebrating other women. I believe that I've been called for such a time as this to raise up the next generation of Esthers, Deborahs, and Marys, and I'm just a woman who loves God. My portfolio is that I am actually a former nuclear engineer for the Department of Defense.
Wow.
Graduated from Hampton University in
lady.
physics. And then God just literally turned and changed my path to do full-time ministry. And so I came off of my job to pursue what I'm doing now, which is just basically pastoring the church and being a community activist and advocate for children and girls, and just being a voice in our community. So I am all things women empowerment, all things Jesus, and all things love.
Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. We need to give her one of these.
Oh man.
So okay, so I mean, this is amazing. So let's go back to your school.
Okay.
I mean, you do
How,
all kinds of cool stuff.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you growing up.
So growing up.
Yeah.
I was always a different kid. If you see me, I'm 6 foot tall. So I was always like a unique individual. I was a PK, and I always just, I would talk to myself. So people thought that was very strange. But come to find out, it just meant that I was very brilliant and smart. And so I remember around the age of like 8 to 9, I heard of the career astrophysicist. And I came home and told my mom, I want to be an astrophysicist. And I did not change my mind. From then on, my first job was at NASA when I was 16 years old.
Wow. Can you imagine?
I worked at Jefferson Lab, and I never even had a normal job. I immediately went into rocket science and astronomy and physics, and I just knew that I would spend the rest of my life doing that. But then my life changed when I rededicated my life to Christ, and I felt called to follow in the footsteps of my father and to be a gospel preacher. And that's exactly what I did. I just took a leap of faith. I left my great paying job.
Oh my goodness. That would have been hard for me. Like, oh Lord,
it wasn't easy. Yeah, can I still do this and serve you? I went back and forth for a while. But you got to be obedient. And so that was me. Always the girl singing, creative. I was a cheerleader. But I always saw that side of me that literally was just different, and I didn't embrace that until I got older. And that's what I really built the Crown Academy about, showing girls the beauty in being different, and also the call and the assignment to be set apart. And I didn't recognize that being set apart was a gift and anointing from God. I always thought it just made me strange and weird. But now I see that it's my call.
Yeah, it took a while, right?
Yes, it did. Yep.
So let's talk about your support system.
Okay.
What type of support system do you have?
I have a wonderful support system. I am so loved at my church, New Beginning Christian Center in Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm co-pastor with my husband. And so I have a great support system there. But my mother and my father, they truly are my rock. And so I was a daddy's girl growing up. My dad actually is like an inventor in himself. So when he was in, I believe he was around the age of like 17, 16. He was actually in the Ebony magazine. He was the first African-American young man to create this 6-foot tall robot in the 1970s. And so he got this full ride to go to school, and people just thought he was going to spend the rest of his life doing engineering. And then God shifted his path. He followed in his father's footsteps, and he did contracting, but he was not able to also live out that innovative, creative thing in the best way that we thought possible. But God shifted that as well for him. So I have a great support system, and my father, my mother, my amazing sisters. I love sisterhood. I have some great friends. And so I believe in the power of sisterhood. And I love one of my favorite hoods is sisterhood. Yes.
This is the thing, guys. And the cameras are, I'm always looking at myself. But
yes, right. It's hard not to.
I know, right? You'll be looking all beautiful.
Yes.
My engineer put that sign.
Look right here, yes, and I catch that right when I started.
So, but anyway, to see her, I mean, look at the smile. Look at the smile and look at the way, you can just see her shining. You can see her glowing and what she does. And so this is actually my first time ever meeting you.
Yes.
And so when I found you on social media, I'm looking you up and, so I can get to know you a little bit. And I'm going, wow, this lady's doing this and she's doing this. And she knows somebody I know. Wow. And so this was amazing. So just to see the photos that you guys had. I think you sent me a photo with balloons behind you.
Yes.
What was that about?
So about 2 weeks ago, I had my book release. I did it at the Slover Library, but I wanted to do something unique with it because I didn't just release one book. I released a series of books. And so this book, the Game ChangeHer Playbook, which is actually an Amazon bestseller, I made it up to the top of number 6 on women Christians living. And so I wanted to do something unique, and I wanted to celebrate not just the women in the Bible telling their story, because that's what the book is about. It's about 22 powerful and prophetic women in the Bible that changed the game, using the idea of like the game of chess, where like the queen is the most influential person in the game. And so I wanted to celebrate local game changers and give them specific awards.
It sounds like a she-wrote.
Yes, there you go.
Mentor.
I love it.
Yes. So she gave me a new word.
I like it. So I wanted to celebrate them. So along with the book release, I had an amazing award show where we honored some local pioneer trailblazing women who are leading in real estate, leading on the pulpit, prophetesses and advocates. And so we gave them like Esther Awards and Deborah Awards, like modern day Esther's and Deborah's right here in our community. We took a moment to celebrate them. So that's what the balloons was all about. So it wasn't just about, we said we're honoring her legacy, releasing her story, and celebrating her rising. And so that's exactly what we did.
I love it. Now, so you have this inspiration, you have this fire going on, right? And so I know you have the church, you have the supporters at the church, but for you, your inside, what made you feel this was it? How did you know that this was just not, how did you know that God gave you this? How did you know this was what you really, really wanted?
What I was created to do, right?
Yeah, because thinking going back to your school and your professional jobs, and things like that, and then for you to break off from all of that, and not to mention the good money, break off from all of that, and then you decided, okay, I'm giving. I'm just going to give my life. I'm going to dedicate my life to this mission.
Yes.
And so how did it come about? How did you feel about it? I want to know what it takes. Because if somebody, and the reason why I'm asking is because if someone feels this and they're jerking with themselves, because, sometimes you pray and you take it back and you ask the Lord and you take it back because you don't know. You don't know the uncertainty life happens, right? And so you got a good support system. We know that part. But what if I wanted to do this? I'm scared.
Wow.
Is God really telling me to do this?
Mm-hmm.
But I keep falling back into the same path.
Yes.
That's the part we want to know.
So, I mean, faith without works is dead. And so you got to take that leap of faith. And it doesn't always feel comfortable, but Joyce Meyer wrote a book, Do It Afraid. And that's truly what I did. You know, I didn't always have the confidence, because I actually struggled with insecurity for a long time, to follow God's plan for my life. But I did know that it's obedience that opens doors. And a lot of times, specifically when it comes to trusting God, we want to see like the full picture. We want to know every step. And what happens is he gives you the end, and then you got to take the first step in order to see the next step, because the scripture says the steps of a righteous man are ordered by the Lord. And so I had to just take that first step, and it was a leap. It wasn't just a step, it was like a huge leap. But I knew it was something that I was passionate about. I knew it was why I was created, you know, and that was everybody has to discover their why, you know, like, why did God put you on this earth? What did he put you on this earth to do, to accomplish? What makes you different from every other person walking this earth? And I just knew that that was what God was sending me to do. And so I just had to trust him, take the leap. And honestly, I didn't know all the steps. Honestly, I've made some missteps. I've had some failures, you know, just, you know, as being an entrepreneur, everything doesn't go the exact way you planned it. But you can see his faithfulness throughout it all. And you learn so much about him, and learn a lot about yourself, you know, and how to be courageous and bold. And so if I'm going to, I remember the Holy Spirit told me one day, stop waiting to be the stop waiting to be inspired and become the inspiration. And so a lot of times, you know, women are looking for inspiration when you can just simply become that. And it was something that I was looking for. It was something that I needed, you know, I needed sisterhood. I needed empowerment. So I created it. And so whenever you see voids, a lot of times God is going to use your voice to fill that void. Whenever you see problems, that's your $1 million right there. You're called to solve that problem. So don't run away from the things that you see that are an issue or a problem, because oftentimes God is highlighting those things because you have the answer to them.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so you have the positive team and you have the negative team. So what are your challenges?
I think probably not thinking I'm worthy sometimes. Like I said, I've always struggled with, and I'm overcoming it now. So I'm going to speak those things. I struggle with insecurity, just not feeling like you're enough. That, you know, comparison is just really the thief of joy. And oftentimes, you know, especially with social media, you see so many women doing great things and you're wondering like, you know, well, I didn't get that turnout, or, you know, I don't have that many followers, or so you begin to like compare yourself. And so a lot of times I don't feel as if my voice is big enough. Like if I don't have the following that a lot of people have that are in my position that have been doing this even shorter than I have. And so I had to overcome fear, overcome, not feeling worthy, overcome insecurity, and certainly overcome just the anxiety of coming forth, and doing something. So those are some things I definitely had to conquer. But you can't, conquer what you don't confront.
Right.
And so, you confront your giants and you slay them and you move forward. I've never been afraid. That's the good thing about it. Like I have moments of fear, but I am the one that will do things afraid, even when I'm a little nervous about it.
No, man, I love it. So that's what I'm saying. You are encouragement. You're an encouragement for a lot of women out there because they want to be where you are right now. And they might have those insecurities.
Yes,
they might have all these, stumbling blocks, I want to call it, thinking that you're not good enough, so they might have it. And it takes women like us.
Yes.
It takes women like us to make sure that we get that out there, because that's why I have my platform. Is to get the word out there, is to let people know that other people are here. You're not by yourself. No. We all can share and work together.
Yes.
Regardless. We can do this.
Stronger together.
United we stand.
Yes, there we go.
And so anyway, I love that. I love that. Like I said, when I saw the things that you were doing, I'm like, oh yeah, she's in the community. She's doing some powerful things here.
Wow.
And so that's great. That's great. And I would love to help you celebrate your book. So let's fast forward on to the book.
Okay.
We're going to take a quick break.
All right.
And then after we do that, then we're going to come back and learn about your books and how you got started and all that good stuff. Because, sometimes, sometimes it takes another woman to get another woman started, right?
That's right. Absolutely.
So we're going to take a quick break. Be back, guys. Well, if you just tuned in, you haven't tuned in too late. You tuned into the Kami Grayson Show, and today is Authors Network. And I have an authoress sitting right next to me.
I like that, authoress.
Okay, everything is a female thing here.
I know, that's right.
We embrace the pink.
I love it.
And so we're going to learn about her journey and her new books. She has a whole series of books, and she's on Amazon, and we love that. We love that. And again, the picture behind me is just phenomenal to see the woman reading the book, and then the word changer.
Yes.
I love it. Okay, let's tell us that story.
Okay, so we always see the ERs, and so when you see like trailblazer or pioneer or something like that, I always think of the feminine version of everything. And so when I was young, my dad taught me the game of chess, and the game of chess is a game of strategy and intention. And I've always enjoyed the game, and I think the game of chess is a lot like life. It's all about calculated and measured moves. And when I studied the women in the Bible, I always noticed how they were very strategic in the way they moved, and how the way that they moved literally changed games. We don't talk about it enough, but I mean, if it weren't for a few good women, we would not have experienced the gospel. I mean, think about it. God used a woman's womb, to bring forth, Jesus Christ. And then there's so many women written in the lineage of Jesus Christ who made game changer moves in order to change their generation. And so that's what I wanted to do with the book. I wanted to inspire women to make strategic moves, to be steady, measured, and well-informed whenever you're taking a leap of faith. And I called it a playbook because I didn't want it just to be a devotional or just a book that they read. I wanted them to walk away with actual moves that they can make, things that they can implement in their life. I'm very practical, and because my background is in engineering, I believe in engineering the gospel. So I break it down in a way that women can walk away from it and say, I can make this step or take that step. And so it's the Game ChangeHer Playbook.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Guys, I mean, if you can get a good look at this, it is phenomenal. She looks pretty in that dress.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yes, it's phenomenal. Okay, so tell us about the other book, Trace.
So I actually have, I have one more. I bought two today, but I have a book for teens and college age girls. Like teens to 20s was a difficult time for me trying to navigate, your faith. And so alongside with this book, I wrote a teen book, and the book is actually like a coloring book. It's a journal. It's also, there you go. Yeah, it's also something special for them to kind of like capture the moment. I do the same stories, but I break them down on their level. And then I tell my personal testimonies in that book. I kind of call myself the Game ChangeHer God Mom. And so basically just, being that voice of reason for them. So that's the second book. And then this book is actually a children's book. And so along with this, I'm going to have a series of books. And I have these twins that I created. Their name are Rain and Royal, and they're starting the Scepter Sisterhood, because like in the book of Esther, Queen Esther, the scepter was extended to her, and that granted her permission to come before the king. And so I created this book, and so each of these books will actually highlight a woman in the Bible. And so this one is on Huldah, and what's so exciting about this is actually the only children's book written on Huldah, like in the Library of Congress. Nobody has yet to tell her story to young girls. And so I didn't even know that when I wrote it, but after I, submitted the ISBN and all that, I discovered that this was one of a kind. And so I wanted to tell hidden heroines in the Bible, tell them stories about women in the Bible that perhaps they don't hear, talked about often. And so I talk about, Jehoshaphat and Jehoshaphat and a lot of women who, Junia, who was an apostle. These women don't get the platforms on, and first of all, it's rare that you go to church and they're talking about a woman unless it's Woman's Day or it's Mother's Day, and so my goal was to tell their stories and make sure that our girls know that we are the people of the pages and we have some trailblazers that we can follow right there in the scriptures.
Yeah, I love it. So now, we have, like they say, Virginia Slim. We've come a long way, baby.
Yes.
And women are, in my I guess in my journey,
yes,
I still see that there are a lot of men that don't really like women to be in power.
Yes.
I have noticed that in my professional life and I see it,
Yes.
And so for a woman to be as strong as you are, it's very intimidating to men, especially, the amount of money you were making and things like that. And you're smart. And so I was talking to a friend actually today about growing up, and I was told chess was the subject. And my grandmother used to tell me, don't win all the time. You need to let him win sometime.
You know what? That is the thing. I've heard that too. Yes, absolutely.
So I was just telling my friend today, and I'm like, I never was that woman, a girl at the time. I never grew up that way. I never wanted to dumb myself down to make someone else look good. Okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to bash anyone or doing, I will make you look good in the background.
Right.
But I'm saying, but if it's us and we're doing a challenge, chess is challenging.
Yes. Right?
Yeah. Like you said earlier, I'm playing to win.
Yes. Listen, I'm competitive, so I'm not going to let you win.
and my grandmother, she told me that, and she was like, you need to let him win sometime. No. My friend said, yeah, we'll just put you on the court and let you play basketball. I know I could beat at that.
Right.
And that's the attitude. But so women like that who grew up with that, of course it's a cycle, right?
Yes.
Because that should have been instilled in me, but it wasn't. But what about the women, the young girls and the parents that instilled that in them? So now you got to kind of get them from under that rock to let them know, you do have a voice.
Yes.
We couldn't vote before. Now we can vote.
Yes.
You do have a voice. It wouldn't be seen a woman would try to go to be president.
Yeah.
Let alone African American woman. But we've come a long way.
We have.
So what is your take on that?
I believe that's why, this is like the Game ChangeHer motto, to inspire women to be unapologetic about who God has created them to be, and to see that this really isn't a new thing. We even though, when you look at religion today, is very patriarchal, really in the Bible, when you begin to discover some of the things that these women did and how God used them, he used them in major ways. Nothing about their assignment was small. Like Huldah, the men came to her, the king, wanted to know, was this scroll actually a real scroll from the scriptures? And God used her to verify that. Like they could have gone to a man, but they went to a woman. Deborah, God commands her to tell the general of an army to go and to defeat their enemies, and as a result of that, her people had rest for 40 years. God used a woman, Esther, an orphan, to literally save his people. His people were going to be annihilated, and he could have used a man, but he chose to use a woman. And so I think we also get it wrong, because this isn't like a new thing, women leading and women being powerful voices, and God using us, because it says in Joel that he will pour out his spirit on men and women alike, that in God there's no Jew, Gentile, there's no female or male. And so these things have to be erased, really, because the foundation of even our faith, God knew how important we were. I always say that he created us because he created Adam because he wanted to, but he created woman because he needed you. He said it's not good for man to be all alone, and so that's why he created woman, a helpmeet. And so how beautiful it is to be created because there was a need in the earth, you know. So I believe in just telling the story of the foundation of how we were created, and that even our creator recognizes that we're significant and that our voices matter. So that is what we want to instill into our young girls as they come forth. And I've always been in male dominated careers. I mean, an engineer, right? Physics, you know, like, I mean, and then a black woman on top of that, you know, a pastor. I was a senior pastor. Like, that's very rare. So for a woman, so I've always been, you know, one of the few women. But I believe that God is changing that narrative, and there's going to be a grand horizon, and that God is going to use women to really usher in the next move of God. And that's not to diminish the role of a man. That's not to emasculate or devalue, you know, because I'm not one of those people that believe that we don't need men. We absolutely need men. We need their voices. We need them in our families. We need fathers, but we do also need women as well. Yeah,
exactly. I love the fact that, you know, you and your husband pastor.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So it makes a lot of sense to embrace opposed to press it down.
Yes, there you go. You know? Right.
So so I absolutely love that. And so as we get ready to close, you know, tell people, give us some words of wisdom. What if a woman wants to be where you are right now, they're not there, but they want to be. They want to strive to be where you are right now, because you're happy with you. You're happy with the skin you're in, right? Yeah. And so, how would a woman get there?
Your first step is surrender. You know, surrendering is one of the most powerful things that a woman can do. Surrendering under the hand of the Almighty God to just be used by Him. And so I would just say your first step is to completely surrender, of course, and then be bold and courageous. You know, that's what God told Joshua, and that's what I believe He's telling all of us. You know, if we're going to go out and blaze trails and pioneer, it's going to require that you are courageous and that you are bold, and that you recognize that you were created for such a time as this, that God has appointed you, and that there is a specific and a unique assignment that He's placed inside of you, and that this world will be different without you. You know, like, you have something that the world needs. And so always know that you're important, that you're valuable, you're fearfully and wonderfully made. But if you want to take the first step to really walk into your calling, your purpose, just surrender to God. You know, that's what Jesus said in the garden: not my will, but your will be done. Be willing to abandon even some of your dreams. You know, a lot of times the world teaches us how to hustle, but we got a helper. His name is the Holy Spirit. And it makes life a lot easier when God is opening doors rather than you kicking them down, you know? So just stay in that place of surrender. Be like that woman that found herself at His feet, because it's at His feet where you discover your purpose, where you discover your destiny, where you discover who God has created you to be. And so I would love to say, you know, start off and, you know, launch that business, go for it. No, the first step is just for you to surrender and say, God, here I am, use me.
Yeah, I love it. So tell people how they can get in contact with you.
Yes,
and how they can get the books.
Okay, so I am actually online at the Game ChangeHer Playbook.com. I'm actually on Facebook as well, Traci Walker. I am Traci Walker on Instagram, and of course, I want everybody to go on Amazon. Make sure you spell it right, the Game ChangeHer Playbook, because guess what? Until Sunday, my ebook is absolutely free. So I'm doing a promotional because that's how important I believe the book is. I just want to get it into the hands of as many people as possible. So please go online on Amazon, the Game ChangeHer Playbook. You can actually read it absolutely free tonight. You can get the ebook, and then of course you can go on my website, thegamechangerplaybook.com, and order a copy. Don't forget the children's book for your young girls, the teen book, the coloring book. The children's book is also a coloring book. So all things, you can follow us at thegamechangerplaybook.com. And I'm Traci Walker, Traci with an I.
I love it. Yeah. Traci, thank you so much for being on the show. Thank you for coming to the studio.
Yes.
Yeah, I was so excited. I was like, I wonder if she'd been here before.
I haven't.
Yeah. So yeah, this is great. Yes. A little treat for us. Okay, guys, until next week, right here, SKST Radio. Bye for now. Tell them bye, Trace.
Bye.